Hello everyone, Lord.agion here with another Starcraft 2 replay. Spawning in the on the right side as the Protoss player, we have Or Oremj, Oremj, I think. And spawn on the left side, we have KCS. Going fast forward because these beginning eco phases are pretty boring. We got a early hatchery, actually hatchery before a spawning pool. Looks the Protoss player is scouting up north and now heading, and also Protoss player, not Protoss, Zerg player is scouting up north also, but both of them did not see anything. They might have seen each other's scouts there, but nothing too major. We do see some Zerglings, and that's, oh wait, debating whether he wants to go in or not. I think he saw this probe. Maybe he was worried about cannons. I'm not sure. But he looks like he now finds a correct base. He should see. Did he see that? He does see that nexus. He might get a couple of the probes. Zealot trying to respawn, but Zealot now is falling back. Zealot's not confident taking on 3 Zerglings. And that these Zerglings are going to make the work on this building. There is a probe here being attacked by the Queen. The Zealot's trying to come in. One of the Zerglings does immediately went for it, but then the other 3 were a bit late to the party. He could take out that Zealot, I would say, but the reinforcing Zealot would say no to the Zergling. He is going. Oh wait, cancel the hatch, not the hatchery, the lair. Going for. He canceled it. Is he building? Or probably should bring up production so we see. Is going for the speed boost for the Zerglings. Nothing too crazy. Oh, an early Stargate. Let's see what he will do with the Stargate. Oh, Adept. That was a looks like they added in the add-up. Didn't realize they added the add-up from the campaign. Range specialist can use psychic transfer. I think that may be the that's the alternate blink for basically move forward, and the shade then goes so far, then it blinks towards it. If I remember correctly, we'll see if this player actually builds them. Oh, there is one in fact. Yep, you got the psionic transfer. Projects an invulnerable shade that can move but cannot attack. After 7 seconds, it will teleport to the shade's location. So it's basically a move it so far, teleports. Can be good for infiltrating if they didn't like wall off the enter and a bunch of shades come through. Though he could just camp the shades, or he could initiate engagement while sending the shades to another direction, and as they were fighting, all of a sudden they just teleport away, hopefully before the shields go down. There's possibilities. Resonating Glaze, increased attack speed of the depths by 45%. That's actually a pretty good amount for a ranged unit. Damage 10, very effective versus light units, so we can see that very effective versus Hydralisks, and effective versus Zerglings. Not so effective versus what's it called, roaches, since they are considered an armored unit. There is an Oracle up here sustaining heavy amount of damage. Got 3 kills, mostly 3 drone kills. Do we see any missing queens? We may see a missing queen now. No, he didn't finish off. He just ran out of energy, and there was, I think, 5 health, maybe even 4 health left. That was very, very unlucky. You see an overlord up here. I keep on saying overload. Currently, 20 harvesters on the expansion, 16 down up here, and we will see attack. We do have an early void ray out. Going for another Void Ray, and that's the... Oh, Fleet Beacon. We may see some carriers or Tempest. Is that what it's called? Tempest? Yes, it is. You need to make... Not exactly 100% certain on some of these names. You can see the Mothership Core has a nice amount of energy, so it could use the photon energy, which is sort of a... What's it called? Pylon's Cardaean Crystal, making a long-range weapon. Or we could see some mass recall. We do see the Void Rays, and this really caught him off guard. He only has some queens for defense, and this queen's almost dead. He does use a healing ability from one of the other queens. And he doesn't really have any major counter to these early Void Rays. Though the queens are doing quite a bit of damage to one. Gets one of the kills on the get a kill on one of the Void Rays, but it's paid for what, with 4 or 5 queens? Now the Void Rays are going to destroy multiple Overlords, which will basically, it has supply blocked them, preventing from making any successful defense. The shields was regenerating. There are 3 Spore Crawlers. The Spore destroys one of the Void Rays. Void Rays. One of the queens are still alive. There's still a queen here. So queen here. So it looks like he actually had a healthy number of queens before the engagement for AA. Oh crap, I didn't see this. The roaches, since they couldn't attack the Void Rays, just straight out attack for the Nexus, destroying... I know there was 20, so perhaps even 20 drones? 20 probes, because there's also 3 missing on the extractor, so I believe there's 22 what's it called? 22 probes. Man, I'm missing that. Let's see, which one is meant for, trying to find the one for number of harvesters lost. Well, we do, let's see, income, the Zerg player actually does have less harvesters than the Protoss player. The Protoss player is sitting on that 3rd base. And we got to see the mass Void Rays coming in again. Well, not exactly mass Void Rays. Hydralisks are trying to deal with the aircraft. They're doing quite a bit of work. But with the charged beam, their prismatic alignment, giving them that extra damage boost for a moment, making them just that much more effective. But yeah, trying to think of where you can look up the harvesters lost. Don't see it. Pretty sure there was one. More Void Rays coming in. Though Fleet Beacon is up, you can always research the increased Phoenix attack range by 2, or makes carriers launch their interceptors much faster. Still content on sitting on Void Ray, so it looks like he's getting a planetary beacon just in case. Well, he could always get some heavy aircraft and Void Rays for now. Though with the number of Hydralisks, a carrier probably won't do that great, since Hydralisks are quite effective versus aircraft, since they have a high rate of fire, dealing 13 damage, but with a very high rate of fire makes them very effective. Zealots try and come in and take the damage. The Roaches are just trying to fight the... Now with all the Zealots gone, the Roaches are pretty much useless, and it looks like he should have invested more into Hydralisks. Roaches are falling back. Pretty even exchange, though the Zerg did lose more units. The Protoss player's units are more expensive. And he's currently expanding the creep forward. The problem is, this Protoss player is going crazy on the expansions compared to the Zerg player. He's actually have one more refining area up and running over the Zerg player. Not really investing enough workers to it. He should transfer... Well, he actually did transfer workers. There's only 8 there. He could get more and more probes, but you'll get to the point where you build too many probes over having economy. trying to expand out the creep as soon as fast as possible, going out for another attack. It looks like he's now setting up a fourth base and a fifth base at the same time. Now he sees these probes. He sees his base already up. It should tell him that there's a bit of a problem. He's behind on economy. Both sides have a massive amount of gas stockpiled. Perhaps they should invest into a bit more heavy gas-based army. For example, having perhaps even Ravagers, or perhaps even what's it called? Sentries could help. Not really that much. He could invest into High Templar, into Archons. That's one possibility. Another possibility is that. What am I thinking of? Infestors. That would be great for the Zerg player. Locking down and temporarily mind controlling the Void Rays, make them shoot upon each other or shoot their own forces. Or just throw out infested Marines and start harassing the opponent's bases. But seeing the Protoss player invested so much in the economy, he doesn't have much of an outstanding army to deal with this. He does have couriers up. Oh, carriers, not couriers. But this is an outstanding army at his base. Sure, he has the tech advantage, but he doesn't have the army advantage. He's saving up for another carrier. He has 2 carriers out, which is good. But 2 carriers is not enough versus this large unit. Though they are funneled into area, and all these drones are being killed. Just sent to the slaughter. Now they're being streamed in one by one. This is now the time for him to attack. He has 4 carriers. They can do a lot of damage. Currently there's 2-2 for the ground army, and 1-1 for the air army. Well, 1-0-1. Now they're nice and funneled in. He should engage that much earlier. He would have had he would have killed many more if he would engage that early, because they're all spread apart. He could have crossed the T and started mowing down the line. Now there's going to be a counterattack with this heavier fleet. There's a lot of ground units, but nothing for the roaches to engage. He should, when the air army attacks, he should send those roaches out to attack the base while the Hydralisks go back and defend. This base will be destroyed. He cannot save it. The roaches need to go out and attack the base. They could absorb the fire like they sort of are, but that's not really what he needs. Hydralisks are move orders or attacking the interceptors. He's destroyed actually all the carriers. All the carriers are down. All the expensive carriers are down. But there's no more Hydralisks left to defend, or attack or defend the air units against the air units. But the Void Rays are now concerned with the large number of roaches heading towards his base. He's deeming it necessary to defend them, to defend his base. With all that rapid aggression with this tier 1 army, when he had the army advantage, he has destroyed 2 major mining locations. So he is very low, actually 3 I should say. So he's extremely low on economy. He cannot support this heavy air fleet. In fact, he doesn't have any more air production, I should say. He still has a fleet beacon. That's one gray area, but he's focused on the fleet beacon now. The fleet beacon does go down right before, with the last couple roaches still standing. This is a bit of a dire point for the Protoss player. He needs to start mining this area. He needs to start mining this area. The Zerg player is just went rampant. I'm just going to say there's no way he can actually deal with this army. He lost too many bases. He is doing a sneaky expansion up here, but he needs it up and fighting now. Perhaps going for Archons would be a good idea to invest all this gas into something he can use. Both sides have a huge amount of gas. Going straight for the Queen. Very nice, but he needs to fall back now before this army comes here and destroys his army. Because, boom, carrier down. Second, all of his carriers are now down. Void Rays are being focused down, stutter stepping to get underneath him, prevent any escape. And that is his army. That is the end of the game. There's nothing he can do. Oremj, I don't know how to even pronounce that. Oremj has been defeated. This is Lord Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.